What is up? It's your boy Armando Monoletti, local artist and the owner of the RB Swap Decor. And you know, without further ado, I'm just get straight into this and say that yes, this is going to be one of those videos that I usually don't make, but there's a few things that need to be addressed. But first, let me get properly dressed. Just bringing out the rice for me, No, I'm just kidding. I'm about to take this off. But real talk, let's discuss a few things. So, people who know me know I don't care about what people say about me or my car that I built with most of the help, or 99% of the help, of Arby's Adrenaline Factory and Robert Bell himself. I did do some stuff. Okay, I didn't just drop the car off and say, do this. No, I have a lot of wrench time as well in my build. I even welded a few things, yeah. People. The car is not done by any means. And for starters, we didn't have a blueprint. There wasn't any forums on how to build this car. And we had to figure it out. So for people who want to make stupid comments on how I'm gonna get killed by my drive shaft because it's exposed, you don't think we thought about that? When I first started building this thing, there was a guy who made a comment saying, where are you gonna run the exhaust? We don't know, but we will figure it out. I'm pretty sure we have it figured out. But there's just been little dumb, silly comments that are, irrelevant to... The build is just not done. It's not finished at all. So why are you even saying anything? I can see if I posted it and I was like, yo, thanks to Robert Bell, the build is done. I'm not putting a front end on it. I'm leaving it all open. If this was a rat rod build, probably would, but it's not. It's a build that's only been in a 7-month process. Yeah, 7 months. So but the other cahoots, this build is the reason why I'm an outsider, and the reason why I started the outsider movement, because it's about being unique and not giving a two shits about what you want to do. If you have a creative mind and you want to do something, don't let other people stop you from doing what you want to do. Do it. It's your money, it's your shit. Do it. Who cares what people think? And I don't care what people think. But I can tell you right now, that thing right there, it's my baby. It's what I paid for. It's what I helped build. It's what we put in the wrench time on. And we could care less. We're gonna keep doing it and doing it. But I have a little thing to show people who still talking stuff, Look at that. Look at that. Oh, there's a start of something. So there's a start of something. But I mean, I can tell them that we're gonna take all this back out, since that's what people believe, that there's not gonna be shit there.
Yeah, I think we should take it out. It's totally safer without it.
Yeah,
I get after 7-8 months of not driving it that you just want to wait till it's fully finished to drive it anywhere. But
I know. Like, don't work out any kinks. Just build it.
I'd just say that anybody who's ever driven a car with an RB in it, it's not worth driving. You just totally wait until it's just completely finished to take it anywhere. That's what I would do.
Yep. Like, I get it, people. I don't have a front end on it.
Well, we just randomly mounted this headlight setup. We didn't even think to put fenders on. We just figured we'd just put them at some random height, random shape. But it's crazy. Fenders actually fit where they're supposed to go.
I know.
And the hood fits and closes.
Which it was like that at World of Wheels. Like, I've posted pictures of it. So just because I took the shit back off so it can get carbon fibered doesn't mean I'm not putting it back on. Like, oh God. This ain't safe at all.
This right here.
Not safe.
This right here is professional, so he can like put ladders and shit up here. But instead,
Yep.
I'll just jump on.
Yep.
This is so he can put all of his equipment up here while he's painting and doesn't have to put it in the car. So for everybody who says it looks like a baby crib up here, or a crib, or a fence, it's actually what it's supposed to look like is a roof rack, and it's supposed to put ladders and paint and all sorts of shit up here, which works rather well, actually, as designed.
So yeah, for those people out there who's like, my cage is not safe or any spec legal, where? Like, come to RB's Adrenaline Factory, 1010 Woods Weather Road, Kansas City, Missouri, and come point out where exactly this cage is not legal. That's if you make it through the door, because I'm pretty sure Robert might punch you in the face. He just made a valid point. When I had this Accord and I had this boat-tin rinky-dink cage, didn't nobody mention anything about that. But now I got a fully built, legit cage. Now it's unsafe. Like,
I think it's most people talking about this for some reason, which this is merely for holding shit up top. These are the actual cage, and this is actually built to exceed a Formula D spec. Every point in here, intrusion bars, everything. The only thing that limits this car from being FD spec is how much we had to move the firewall, how much we had to modify the tunnel, and how none of the suspension on here mounts to factory suspension points.
And
we
didn't use the stock towers from the Honda Accord.
Yeah, so nothing's mounted in the factory locations. But other than that, it is actually built to a Formula D spec. All the tubing, the size of material, the weight class, the size of the plates to the floor, the fact that it's not mounted. None of these pass through the B pillars, which isn't allowed. If you look, you can actually barely slip a piece of paper between here. This is a very, very tight fit in all of these spots right here. You can't get anything in here. As a matter of fact, when we were welding this, after I got the last bar welded in, it wasn't even welded to the chassis yet, and you could not move this cage in the car. It was in here so tight.
I want to point out another thing about the person who swears up and down that my door bars are not legal. You see that? They are welded together.
I'll pull this. Like, the other thing is, the reason why they are done this way is because when you weld two bars together like this, and you put the weld here, and the car gets hit, and this gets pushed forward, if they are overlapping like this, all the weight is taken off of the weld. It is this bar being pushed against this bar, so the weld only holds the bar in place. Anytime a cage is built, it should be designed where any type of load is off of the weld itself, which is why these bars get welded with a bar behind it, because if it gets hit, you want this to transfer load into another tube. That's why all the cages you see with an X in here, they have the bar that should be going this way because the load goes here. If this had, if you know Marcus Alder's car, his bar goes from here to here. So instead of these bars being here, they start at the middle, so it transfers load from the last 2 bars from here. And this is to save weight. That's why we didn't do an X here. This supports the main hoop on this corner. This one supports the main hoop on that corner. That's all that's required. And that's not finished either. Nope. All of that will be sheet metaled in and underneath the car. You'll still be able to see these tubes, but the sheet metal will be halved in, kind of like it is up there. But we still got a lot to go.
By the way, that's a Z32 gas tank. It's not a Honda gas tank, like some people keep asking.
And that's so the gauge cluster.
This one guy was like, "Why did you move the Honda gas tank to the rear?" For real.
Maybe because it isn't meant to have a drive shaft go through it? Or a subframe underneath it?
I don't know. I feel like people just enjoy trolling me. I mean, there has been a few people who've, like, been in my inbox. And
the other thing is, we're not giving crap to the people who don't like the build. If you don't like the build, you don't like the build.
Right.
The problem is the people who come in that say that it's built wrong, or they want to come in and talk shit on the things that are unfinished. Like the people who keep saying that your rolling takeoffs are slow. One, he's never went full throttle in this car in third, fourth gear. It's only been like first, second gear. And you got to remember, this is still 3 weeks into a rear-wheel drive build on the only RB car that he's ever driven. So things are new. The welded differential, all that stuff.
I'm still getting used to that. That shit's weird.
It's a new experience. This isn't a car that he was driving a rear-wheel drive car and then just decided, hey, I'm going to build a rear-wheel drive Accord. This was his daily. This was a 100 horsepower, 3-cylinder, dead on threes, smoking, burning oil for months. So he went from 100 horsepower front-wheel drive to over 300 rear wheel with a welded diff on completely different suspension. This isn't, wasn't me being like, oh, hey, me driving Skylines and stuff, I'm just going to build a rear-wheel drive Accord. Yeah. That's a totally different story. It's almost the exact same build as that, but this is a completely different build than what he originally was driving. So if you don't like the build, you don't like the build. That's fine with us. I just don't like it when we've got all this time in it, he's got all this money in it, and people want to come in and trash the build just because they can. This car is built safer than half the cars at the track. This car was built for the track. And it was also built so he could take this car out, he can take it cross country, and he can haul all of his shit up top and race this thing all weekend and drive this bitch home. So, we encourage you guys to do your own builds. If you got any questions about what we did or where we're going with it, we'd rather get the messages first than to see it online about how unsafe it is driving it with no trans on it.
Yeah, just ask people, just go to either I or Robert Bale's inbox, or go to the RBC Drilling Factory page, and just ask a question. It's that simple. But last but not least, this car was not built off of what was it?
Stagia?
No. What was that thing where you give money? What's it called? GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. Yeah.
Yes. For the people who keep commenting, oh, he built that car off of GoFundMe. Boy, I want to see the page. I wish I had GoFundMe money.
It worked out about as much as my GoFundMe that Jimmy started for me when I got arrested. It was about $91 that people sent, which, it's fine. I didn't want the GoFundMe. Jimmy thought he was doing it to help me out, and I ended up getting more criticism off of it than anything. Pretty much the same thing as that.
Yeah. But, I made a post saying that if you wanted to help me get to the track, because there was an event that I wanted to get to the track, which I wanted to rent a truck and trailer, and so I asked for a PayPal. But in return, I was giving stickers, which are $10, and I was asking for $5. So in terms, people were getting or had a chance of getting a deal on stickers and shirts. So for $5 for both. So not exactly understanding how I was asking for handouts. But I mean, I guess you guys praise YouTubers all the time for doing it, and they don't give you nothing but videos. So yeah. But that is all I want to say. Um, it's my build, it's my car, it's what I wanted to do. Thankfully that I had that guy right there to, guide me through it and tell me it's gonna be all right. Because when I first started cutting stuff off and he completely cut the front end off, I was like, what in the actual fuck is going on? But it worked out and it runs and drives. It's the first one in the world and we did it. So that's all that matters. So thank you to all the haters. We appreciate it because you ain't doing nothing but making us go. So peace.